It's December 13, 2015, and we want to know, is Superman's secret identity actually one by the name of John Cena?
What tricks did Phantom Stranger learn when he was hanging out with the Wotan clan?
All this and more is coming up now. It's DCU Week 22 here at DCR.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR. It's been a little bit, been a minute or two, hot minute or two.
Hot minute.
I, of course, remain your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, and I am joined, as always, by the Punmeister General. Do you want a new title or something? I feel like...
Yes, I want to be referred to as the pioneer of swag pop.
Okay, the Punmeister General, Brian Glein, is also with me. Hello, sir.
Oh, come on, I want to take credit and or blame for Carmen.
I think it would be blame. I'm pretty sure it would be blame.
Sorry, everybody.
My bad. But as such, we are here to talk about the comic books like we do each and every week, except for the weeks where we don't, which have been too often in the last couple months. We're trying to get back on track. I was actually down with a bit of a flu. I still have some of the sniffles, so my apologies if I sound muffled and yucky and whatnot. I will try to keep my coughs off of the microphone.
You know what? That dude from the X-Files files is like 15 years behind on his recap show. I think we're doing pretty good.
We're a month back. That's not too bad.
Take that, Kumail Nanjiani.
But Brian, do you want to tell the folks the spoiler warning on what they should be aware of?
Well, if you haven't read your books from October 28th yet, we might be spoiling them, giving out plot beats and character motivations and maybe some jokes and japes from each issue.
I do not joke. This is serious business, man. Comics are serious business.
So serious you don't spell with any vowels. It's just serious business.
Serious business. But as such, consider yourself forewarned that there will be spoilers ahead. We don't want you guys to have your stories ruined or anything. So, listen if you either want to be spoiled or have already read the books, which odds are in your favor that you already have in this late game. So as such, what do we want to do to get into this week's books? Can we hop? Do we shuffle? Slouch?
Dash through the snow?
Dash through the snow when it's 70 degrees out in Northeast Ohio in December.
Cleveland, everybody.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dash into this week's books. And nothing says Christmas like All-Star Section 8.
Number 5. All right, so All-Star Section 8, the continuing adventures, shrug emoticon of Gotham City's homeless superhero team. So we start off with the leader, Six Pack. He is passed out drunk on the floor of Noonan's sleazy pub when he gets confronted by the Phantom Stranger, who is rapping at him confrontationally with a bunch of skullhead ladies backing him up and singing a sample of Jim Morrison's People Are Strange. At one point, Etrigan shows up as his own ODB-style hype man so he can spend an entire page rapping about how Ennis and McCrae's Demon series needs to get put back into print. It's the best version of Phantom Stranger I've ever seen, Sean. Is amazing. They talk about his dope turtlenecks and everything. It's fantastic.
I do want to see the hype man Etrigan. I kind of want to go back and read this now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you didn't read this?
I didn't.
My goodness.
I didn't get around to it yet. It has been a sad week here in the Lamont household.
Yes.
So.
It's been amazing. It was amazing, to be quite frank. Anyway, so the entire point of this is to drop Six Pack off in limbo so he can talk with the dead members of Section 8. Jean de Baton, Friendly Fire, Flemgem, Shakes, the Defenestrator, but no Dog Welder because he's in hell. He welded dogs to people. Where do you think he's going to be, Six Pack?
Is that the line right there? Yeah. I mean, you could be just a horrible human being, just a waste of human flesh, but as soon as you weld a dog to someone, sorry.
Yeah, so Phantom Stranger then goes all like Ghost of Christmas on him and takes him to see like himself, Six Pack, naked and passed out in the snow outside of an art gallery from either his past life or current life as a relapsed alcoholic gadabout art dealer.
Okay. Yeah, because we're still in that limbo on whether this is actually all happening or if it's just
a hallucination,
a relapse
of his part,
blackout. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we get this really sad scene where he puts his cape on himself and tries to keep himself warm so he doesn't die in the snow. So even more fuel to our theory that we got there. And then he suddenly comes to a Noonan's again, and there's a news report about Dog Welder's family the new Dog Welder, trying to find him after he left to go to an antique store, and all of the weird dog-related reports about people who have claimed to have seen him.
You know what would probably make his family feel better after losing their father figure? They should get a puppy.
Yeah.
They should just get a puppy and bring it home and see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe do some evil things with the puppy around. Have like a mugger nearby and your new puppy and just see maybe if he shows up.
So as Dog Welder just sits there as he listens to his kids pleading for him to come home on the TV, Superman then shows up at the door to take Six-Pack to the end and the final issue.
Aww.
Yeah.
He's leading him on, huh?
Yep.
Is Six-Pack gonna die? Is this Six-Pack's fever dream as he's dying?
It just might be.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Kind of depressing. It did give us rapping Phantom Stranger, though.
Did he at least run through the streets and say, "Merry Christmas, Emporium"?
Merry Christmas, Sleazy Pub. And you were there? No, that's something else entirely.
Yes. I mean, that's Christmassy. I mean, we got a little bit of Christmas spirit in there. That's not that bad. For October 28th? I mean, that's not bad. Shit, now I have to figure out how to make Christmassy stuff and all these things. That's going to be difficult.
Play some jingle bells in the background. You'll be good.
Okay, just some ching, ching,
ching, ching, ching. Yeah.
All right.
That's what you do when you're on a podcast at Christmas.
I did not know this.
Add some jingle bells to the theme song.
I feel like I'm such a rookie now. Next up for me, Aquaman. Aquaman, number 45. He's a bit out of his element, pun entirely intended. If you recall what was going on, Brian, whatsoever, after accidentally sleeping with his fiance's sister.
Yeah.
And I do want to kind of show up and listen in on that argument that's about to occur.
This is Mara and her guns. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to go really well.
No, you don't understand, Mara. She looks like you. Of course she looks like me. She's my sister. No, she's a shapeshifter. She looked just like you. Are you saying I look like my sister? No! Oh, poor Aquaman.
Poor Aquaman. No way to win that one.
Doesn't work out for him. But then in an effort to escape after his fiance's sister stabbed him, he teleported away with his new magic trident powers and apparently was not concentrating well enough because he ended up on a foreign planet somewhere out in deep space. Hence, way outside his element. And he's up there fighting space wolves and killing space leviathans with his trident and stuff. And we see that there are these remnants of what look like an invasion force, and it looks like Thule, that mirror universe Atlantis that he's been fighting back home, have also been spreading out outside of Earth, and they are attacking other planets, but it looks like whoever was on this planet drove them back. And as he finally collapses, he succumbs to his wounds from being stabbed. He comes to and finds who those people are. It's a tall, blue, thin alien race. And he's trying to talk to them, but they don't speak English. And he's just kind of like, things are not going my way ever. But it looks like they actually kind of respect him, if not revere him. And the queen comes and shows him around and shows how they were able to repel back Thule and everything. And he's like, okay, so it is possible. They showed up here and you guys surprised them and that you were able to drive them back. So all I have to do is just surprise these people. I have to come at them at an angle that they're not expecting. And he's himself is surprised, though, when the queen leads him into this giant chamber where there is a giant statue of a Pangea-style Earth, aka the way Earth was when Atlantis was still above the waves. The continents are still kind of smushed together a little bit. And standing astride it in a conquering pose with his trident stuck into it is Aquaman. And he's like, oh, so I guess you guys do know me from somewhere. Huh. Awkward. Again, things probably not going to work out for the best for Aquaman. He's had a really rough go of it. A really rough go of it with this storyline. Again, I do want to see that argument with him and Mara, because I'm sure she's going to be nothing if not understanding.
Yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be good. I kind of like what they're doing with this. I know some people are into it, some people aren't, because he's been so isolated from his supporting cast, because he's been driven out on his own ever since Siren, who is Mara's sister, took over Atlantis by pretending she was Mara. And so he's been kind of isolated from all of his support characters that we've all kind of grown to like a lot, even characters that we weren't expecting to. So hopefully this gets resolved in a manner that he does not end up isolated for too much longer, and he gets to get back in there and have fun with Tula and Merc and all the rest of his pals.
Good old Merc.
Yeah, good old Merc. So next up, though.
I've got Batgirl.
You do. You got
number 45.
The girl that is a bat.
Yes.
Or kind of. Not really. No, she just has
She's not girl bad. She's
got decent fashion tips. I don't know. What's her thing?
She's got an eidetic memory.
Well, she does.
Yeah.
She does. And she's pretty good.
And in this one, she is using that eidetic memory and her Batman training to be the best maid of honor ever.
Oh, man. Yes. That's actually difficult. I do not envy her.
Yes, her old roommate, Elysia, is getting married to her girlfriend, and Barbara is also at the same time trying to have a date with her new boyfriend, Luke Fox, who should then show up to crash the wedding, but Dick Grayson.
Oh, Grayson.
Looking like he's been carved from marble and shimmering with every Sailor Moon sparkle he could possibly have. He is Tuxedo Mask, I think.
Does he just throw a rose?
I don't know how Tuxedo Mask works, but I'm assuming, based on the theme song, you know.
It's close enough.
Yeah. It's hilarious just how perfect he is, even standing next to Luke, who is also a superhero and a mixtape of martial arts.
Yes.
You know, I mean...
No, that's not actually... No, it's
I'm
not
sure
a
that's how
mixtape of martial arts.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
No.
So Grayson steals the wedding ring off of Barbara's necklace, and they have a flirtatious rooftop chase that also includes a flashback to an airgun killer moth caper that they had together in the past.
Oh, man, this sounds like it's right up your alley.
Just exclamation points. Yes, that's
so wait, Grayson was like being all flirty with her? And,
he's like, hey, baby, I'm back. I'm not dead. You're not mad at me, right? Come on.
We're cool.
Get back to the smooching. Yeah, so Dick fails to win her back, but he'll always be there for her. Wink. Tiny heart floats off of him. Babs makes it back to the wedding with the ring in time. Elysia and Joe get married. Black Canary plays the reception. Luke gets to dance with Babs, and sad Grayson is sad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
for once, everything doesn't come up Grayson.
Luckily, I have Batman and Robin Eternal and Grayson coming up later, where it does come up Grayson.
Yeah. So then, when Barbara goes to sleep after the wedding, some evil shadow thing starts saying random numbers and ooh, spooky. And there's also a spoiler alert for the next issue, so we know what that means at this point, right?
Is it Cassandra Cain? Is she going to show up?
No.
Is it Tim Drake? Is it Tim Drake going to show up?
That would certainly spoil my issue, but you know.
No, you don't understand, Brian. We have reasons. You might be able to come back to the Tim Drake fold.
Oh, really?
You might be able to.
I enjoyed him in the early 2000s. So let's see if he can finally win himself back for me.
Well, next up we have Batman and Robin Eternal number 4, which is the weekly Batman and Robin book coming out, which is my title. The all of the Robin characters basically just running amok with one another now that Batman is dead and trying to clean up some of his past mistakes, shall we say? Maybe some mistakes that he has made along the journey. And Grayson, he's able to get Bruce Wayne to safety because remember, all of a sudden, Mother, the character that been a part of Batman's past. That's all we know so far. That he got pulled into Mother's web and he left a warning tape for Dick Grayson saying, "Look out! She controls everyone. You can't trust anyone because she has her fingers in every pie." And in the present day, we see that Bruce Wayne, who has forgotten all of his Batman skills.
I'm gonna have to stop here for just a second. Isn't this a Space Ghost Coast to Coast plot?
No.
Doesn't Zorak say, "I am your greatest, villain, Adam West. I am your mother"?
No.
Doesn't he do that?
No, he does, but that's not what this is.
I'm hoping Mother turns out to be Zorak now. You do realize that.
I would not hold my breath if I were you. I'm just saying. In this case, it is Mother, and she is controlling the rich and affluent to attack a Bruce Wayne who has forgotten everything about being Batman. And Dick Grayson has shown up at this little gala event to try to save him and is jumping around going, "Ha, I will take care of all these." But he is outnumbered by a bunch of rich people with cleavers. And that's when all of a sudden, we are Robin. The entire gang of Robins come bursting in. They were actually working the place undercover and start beating down all these people. Why do you shake your head at me every time I say this?
Because of how you react when you say it. That's why.
But they drive him back, leaving a poor Dick Grayson to be like, Are you kidding me? There's another 5 kids dressed up. How many Robins are there now that I am not doing this?
This used to be special.
Yeah. It used to be one at a time, guys. One at a time. Tim Drake ruined this by becoming Red Robin and not passing on the name. He just kept it, and now it's Robin.
Everyone can be Robin.
Everyone's a Robin now. So they end up fighting off all of these hordes of rich mind-controlled / bought off people. We don't know exactly how Mother controls people. But Batgirl ends up showing up to help as well. And after everything's done, he goes, "Hey, Batgirl, you keep Bruce Wayne safe. Kids, get the heck out of here before the cops show up. You don't want to get involved in it right now. I'm going to go try to find something else that's going on. I have to find some sort of lead on what's happening here." Meanwhile, Harper Row and Cassandra Cain are off exploring the Batcave, just kind of roaming around, just like, oh, look at this over here. Oh, a dinosaur. Oh, why not? Hey, let's go up to the upstairs.
I thought that dinosaur was at the playground. That's shoddy continuity.
Oh, shut up, you. But they're like, hey, let's go upstairs and see what's up there. Doop-a-doop-doop-doop. And they're doing that, which leaves poor Tim Drake, Jason Todd, and Stephanie Brown to argue amongst each other over what their next course of action should be. Poor Stephanie Brown is stuck trying to keep these two morons from killing each other, and just being normal people instead of the crazed rage sarcasm machine that is Jason Todd and the really bad around lady people, Tim Drake. And she's kind of in the middle just shaking her head like, why? Why does this happen to me all the time? And as they're standing there arguing, Grayson fills them in over the comms that all of those attackers, all of the rich people that were at this gala event were actually names that were on that list that they had, the same list that they were also on. So does that mean the list isn't targets for Mother, but actually the custom people that she made? Dun, dun, dun! Which is going to get into some obviously sticky wickets there, if that is the case, if Batman decided to cut corners and get some, okay, you want to be a Robin? Let me send you over to this lady and she will plug in all of the information you're going to need to be an acrobat, crime fighter, super sleuth, whatever, and
I know Kung Fu.
Yes, exactly. So if that's the case, that's an interesting storyline, you have to admit. That's an interesting turn in the past.
Yeah.
An interesting turn. But as they're all doing that, Grayson says, hey, I'm going to sign off. You guys kind of keep the other kids in line, keep Stephanie and Harper and Cassandra from getting into trouble because they're on the list as well. And I'm going to go follow up on a lead. But to do that, I have to go radio silent. And as we see, he's pulling up to Tim Drake's parents' house. But as he's doing so, Tim Drake has snuck away from the group and answers his little cell phone and goes, yes, Mother, it's all in place. So maybe creepy Tim Drake has just been pre-programmed to be creepy Tim Drake, and after this little thing, maybe he'll be deprogrammed and go back to the Tim Drake you love. Maybe, huh?
Or maybe they'll just get rid of him because he's superfluous in the New 52.
Well, he could get his own identity. He can go off and do his own thing.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to find his little niche is all.
It would explain the first series of Teen Titans, let me tell you.
And Kid Flash is there, and he's reporting into Mother.
Oh, man.
No,
Skitter's there, too. No one really cares, but you know.
I really like this book. It's the interplay between all the characters. When We Are Robin are being bossed around by Grayson, they're like, who the hell do you think you are? And he's like, hey, I'm the first guy to wear that R, so little respect here. Come on, guys. I'm Grayson. Everyone, look at this bum. Look at my bum. Look at it. Look at it. They're like, oh, Grayson, yeah, we know you.
Bum lookers.
You dirty bum lookers.
Cheeky monkeys. Oh, why isn't that not a Batman villain? Why is Cheeky Monkey not a Batman villain?
That would be a Grayson villain.
That would be a Grayson villain, yes. or at the very least a Knight and Squire villain.
That would definitely be a Knight and Squire villain.
Cheeky Monkey.
It's a shame they're dead.
Give me a Knight and Squire series.
Well, you can get a Squire Knight.
Well, yes.
Squire
is Knight now. She'll have a new Squire. It'll be a boy. It'll be fun.
Why would she need a Squire? She's already got this on lock. She's good. Unless Man of Bats is her Squire, then that's the crossover we're all waiting for, right? Yeah. Next up, Cyborg number 4. Cyborg, his father, and Sarah Charles interrogate the alternate universe Sarah Charles that has come over to help fend off the Robo-Sapiens or Techno-Sapiens that have been attacking them after Cyborg's technology got off into the multiverse, and they're like, holy crap, this is awesome stuff right here. We should go find the source of it. And so they keep trying to come to Earth, and this alternate universe, Sarah Charles, one of the scientists that works in the Red Room with Cyborg's dad, is leading the Freedom Force that's been fighting them back. And explains in their world that Cyborg's parents were the ones that were actually caught in the blast at the beginning of the New 52. Remember, Cyborg got caught when the cube opened up, the mother box opened up, and it went pshoo, and that's why he got turned into Cyborg, because it blasted off half his body, and his dad tried to save him. Well, in their universe, it was Cyborg's dad and his mother who got caught in the blast, and Cyborg's dad was able to cyborg himself up, and then injected all of the nanobots into his wife to try to save her, and she is actually the source of the Techno-Sapien race, his alternate universe mother. And as it became sentient and started infecting other people and spreading and growing, it decided that humans in and of themselves are a weak, crappy race and need to be wiped off the planet so that the superior Techno-Sapiens could take over.
James Spader Gambit.
Exactly. So now they're hunting down, trying to get Cyborg's tech so that they can fold it into their technology and grow ever more powerful. And Vic's dad goes running off like, no, I'm a horrible human being. I caused all of this. And Vic goes after him and is like, Dad, I know all this alternate world stuff is creepy. Trust me, I've been to Earth 52.
Yeah, let me.
There were lamps.
Actually, I got along pretty well there, to be perfectly honest. But
you have to realize there's like 52 of you out there in the multiverse, and you can't really control.
In the first multiverse.
Well, in this one here. Let me sit you down and explain.
I'm going to get you a whiteboard. I'll get the guy from the TV show to explain it to you. I'll draw some circles really big.
We got Bill Nye here. He's going to show you exactly what's going on.
You and the dude from Rent also really wants to know this too, so we're going to explain to both of you at the same time, all right?
But he's trying to explain to him that, no, you do have no control over what your alternate universe people do in the multiverse. He goes, yeah, but I did the exact same thing to you in this one, so of course I would have done it here as well. I mean, you got caught in the blast and I injected you with nanobots and stuck a bunch of aluminum foil all over your face and went, there, good!
Now he's a robot.
Now he's okay. So yes, of course it wasn't me, but if it would have happened here, I would have done the exact same thing, so I'm just as bad. I'm just as much to blame. And while this argument is going on, in the other room, Sarah Charles and her alternate universe Sarah Charles self are having an argument with with themselves?
Yeah.
She's arguing with herself quite literally about her feelings towards Cyborg, because alternate universe Sarah Charles loved Cyborg, and she's like, well, of course you love this Cyborg too. I've seen the googly eyes you make out. She's like,
yeah, she's making like totally embarrassing her in front of all the other scientists.
Yeah. But then they end up getting into a fist fight over whether they love Cyborg more or less. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's you. You don't really have to be that catty about it. Yeah. I understand it's all this alternate universe, but it's still you. Whatever. But the quiet in quotation marks is shattered when the captured Techno-Sapiens that they have, including the infected Dr. Morrow. So we could be seeing his inevitable turn towards a heel here.
Yeah.
I'm sure once he gets free, if he ever does, from the techno virus thing, that he'll probably want to replicate it and become very big into robotics himself and maybe start building a bunch of robots and doing things and maybe fighting the Metal Men. I don't know. But there's an uneasy alliance between Sarah Charles, alternate universe Sarah Charles, and her troops, including a bunch of critters. Is that what those are?
I know, they look like, or at the very least, hobgoblins.
Yeah, hobgoblins, yes, but I just thought critters, the ones that shoot the little spines from the old movies, that are also working with her, and they go off to fight the Techno-Sapiens alongside the Metal Men and Cyborg. No, we must fend them off. We must save the lab. And that's where it ends.
When a giant tremor worm pops out of the ground.
A giant tremor worm does in fact pop. Maybe they're
critters and tremor worms. Yeah, maybe they're actually, maybe it's Film Freak all along.
Oh, it's just a bunch of 90s movies.
That's just my answer to everything, is put Film Freak in.
But it would make a lot more sense why all of these low budget 90s movies are showing up all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it. That was Cyborg. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I went into Cyborg with low hope. It's no Martian Manhunter, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Because that one, the bar was so low for me that I was just
and it wound up being so high.
Yeah, then it ended up just being such a fun romp. And this one, I think Martian Manhunter ruined it for Cyborg, because I was like, you know what? Maybe this is going to be just as good. And I'm like, okay, well, it's about where I thought it was going to be. It's a solid read, especially if you're a Cyborg fan.
Yeah, and I had no clue what was going on in the third issue, and I still recapped it. Then when I went and read the fourth one, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I totally get where they're going with this.
Yep, and it makes sense. They're getting, much like Martian Manhunter is doing the introducing you to the character and his supporting cast by making himself the supporting cast. This one, you're getting very much a alternate universe look at all of some of the side characters as well, so you can kind of figure out who they are based off of their foils. So it's a good idea. It's a good way to have action while you're introducing your character and getting your base built that you have to do in all of these books, and that's really the hardest part, is keeping people's interest while you're building that foundation. So I think they're doing a solid job with it right now in Cyborg. So next up.
Very good. I'm going to Gotham by Midnight.
Gotham by Midnight.
Number 10.
That did the clinic on how to build a base while keeping it exciting and fun. And still didn't survive.
Still didn't make it, no. So last issue, we learned that Jim Corrigan may be in control of the Spectre and actually killing innocent people. He just flat out exploded the 2 cops that were interrogating him. And the rest of the force barge in on the interrogation room, just covered with blood. And at first, don't think he's behind it, just because it's something weird in DC University probably happened.
Sure,
which it is Gotham, you know.
Yeah,
which I thought was kind of funny. So I'm like, how's he going to get out of this one? It's like, oh yeah, comic books. That's how. But suspicions start to arise, and eventually, Detective Drake has to flee with Jim to save the rest of the precinct from getting murdered by the Spectre. And in this issue...
Are you saying the Gotham City Police Department is not full of fine, upstanding police officers?
Maybe. So, also in this issue, Xander Tarr is investigating the Black Flowers and comes across a local community that has built a shrine to Sister Justine where she died. And he's just like, but how could they know who she is? It's like, oh, we see her. Maybe you'll see her too. So he sets down the black flower in the jar in her shrine, and something happens, but we don't know what yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Still got 2 issues. You know.
Quit teasing me!
I know. So we cut back to Drake and Corrigan, and it is the coolest car chase I've ever seen in a comic. Way to go, Juan Ferreira.
Even better than the Ghost Rider recent reboot? Because I thought that was a really good car chase.
Ghost Rider did good. That Black Canary tour bus chase was pretty great, too.
That was pretty solid, too.
But this is cinematically beautiful.
Really?
With, like the streak and lights and everything. He did a great job.
Nice.
So Jim eventually goes full Spectre, and they drive off a bridge and explode. Oh, well.
Did they at least hold hands before they drive off the bridge? Is it Thelma and Louise style, where they're just like,
I wish I knew what the quote was. I wish I knew what the quote was, but yeah. So they do that, and there's like, oh, well, we're better off without the midnight shift, say the Gotham cops. And then we cut to a giant monster rising out of the swamp outside of Gotham, speaking in the dead language we've seen all series. Whoops.
Yeah, now that they're gone, we should be A-okay.
Yep.
Everything's coming up roses for Gotham City.
Yep.
And Aquaman's just shaking his head off to the side like,
nope.
It never comes up roses, guys. Can someone explain shapeshifters to my fiance, please? So sad this book is going. I'm elated that we got it, and we got 2 solid trades worth out of it. So I think it's going to be one of those books that people come back and read and go, wow, this was actually
why
really
why did
good.
they cancel this? It's like, shake your
where
fist.
were you a year ago? So, again, it's well worth the read. If you do find the old issues, or the first trade came out a couple months back, like a month and a half back, you can find it and flip through it. Get your library to get it for you even. I mean, just give it a look through. One way or another,
just read it. Yeah,
just give it a look through. I'm telling you, it's so worth the price of entry, especially if that price of entry is free off of the library. So, probably worth more than that, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, Deathstroke, number 11, stroking death everywhere. Why do you giggle every time I say something?
We're just having so much fun here at the podcast.
Deathstroke is out for blood, so Tuesday. I mean, it's pretty much. But the reason he's out for blood now is because he saw a hit on his daughter's house, on Ravager's house, and he shows up there to find out what happened and finds a note pinned to a dead lookalike's body. Some girl that they put in a wig to make it look like Ravager, and there's a note pinned to it.
Cosplayers.
But there's a note that says, hey, remember you promised to kill Waller? And he's like, Harley Quinn, god damn it. So he goes, fine.
She's everywhere.
You guys want death. You guys want blood. You guys want stroking. I'm coming. I'm coming for you. And he airdrops himself into
I think it's say Rev on the TV show.
Into the prison complex and just lays waste to the place. Just releases all the prisoners and just starts jumping through there, stabbing people, shooting people. Rah! Until he finally runs across Harley Quinn and is like, hey, where's my daughter? Why'd you do that? Did Waller put you up to it? And she's like, no, but if you actually fulfill your promise and kill Waller, I'll tell you where Rose is at. And he goes, fine. I was going to kill her anyway. And he goes stomping off to go find her to kill her. And they run across Deadshot, who's just leaning against a wall while all the carnage is going on around him. He's just like, look at all that. That's pretty messy. Gonna pity whoever's on cleanup detail, which would make sense since he has the bomb in his neck that, you know, rioting and trying to escape would just be a complete waste of energy for him. So he's just like, whatever. I'm gonna just watch this. But he's like, yeah, you and me, Deathstroke, we still got bad blood from that Russia contract in Suicide Squad. Remember when Deathstroke betrayed them and tortured the living bejesus out of Deadshot? Mm-hmm. That little thing. So they end up having a big old fist fight, and they're punching each other and fighting. And finally, Deathstroke's like, look, I'm just here to get my daughter. And that kind of stops the fight because Deadshot and him both pull out their wallets and start showing pictures of their respective daughters. Like, oh, yeah, here's really cute. Yeah, you want to see my daughter? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I'll let it slide this time, Deathstroke. You go find your daughter. But I can tell you right now, none of us in Suicide Squad had anything to do with it. And I highly doubt Waller did either. So you're probably being set up here. And he's like, that's fine. I'm ready for anything. Stroking death everywhere. But that's when Black Manta jumps up from underneath and grabs him by the leg and pulls him down into the water below and says, now I'll get my revenge for that Russia thing. He's like, I thought we got over that already.
Black Manta's version of squad goals are way different than Taylor Swift's.
Yes. Sorry.
More murdering.
Yes, a lot more murdering. A lot more. But it's such a fun book in comparison to what I thought it was going to be. Seriously, I did not expect Deathstroke. It's becoming
a monthly thing where you're just like, Deathstroke is way better than I ever would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, and I had no issues with the last run of it. It wasn't my cup of tea. I understood why people would like it, but this one seems to be riding a bit more of a line of popcorn action movie, but with just enough character development or continuity into other books.
Fewer ninjas.
Much fewer, about 1,000 fewer ninjas, to be honest. No trains either. No trains or ninjas. And that's probably how he's evading the ninjas.
Has he rid on a missile yet?
No, Slim Pickens riding a missile through North Korea. None of that, really. I mean, it's maybe one step below that as far as his action stuff. He did kill a god.
He had a mystical blade.
Yep. See, what else did he do? He shot up a bunch of people, killed his dad. Yeah. I mean, found his kids, lost his kids, gave his kids some money. Saw his kids get murdered, turned out to be cosplayers. Yes, we're being lighthearted about the whole thing, but in comparison to what I was thinking this was going to be, which is just grrr, pouches, muscles, stabbing, grrr.
We got to meet the possum.
Yeah, we did get to meet the possum. There's just a bit more depth to this particular run of Deathstroke than I was expecting there to be, which makes it a much more enjoyable read than just that shoot everything.
Pouches, swords, more pouches, guns that make no sense, that are just rectangle blocks for some reason.
Sure. Although I did finally, you know how we were trying to figure out how, and this is a complete tangent here, how we were trying to figure out who could be the conservative Republican superhero to start going down that angle, since there are so many liberals type books like Prez and whatnot.
Yeah.
I found one for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name is Ballistic. Do you know this guy?
Huh.
He was a cop, I guess, for Gotham City, and then he became bulletproof. And he just has giant 90s guns all over him, and he shoots people.
Yeah, a name like Ballistic, that does sound like a 90s character.
I'm making my way through the No Man's Land section, and he showed up. And
Isn't it fun reading those old crossovers and seeing characters only existed for like a couple months?
Yeah, well, he pops up and just keeps talking about how he's a Republican and guns are good. And which I guess if you are a gun-themed superhero,
you would be pretty pro-NRA.
Yeah, you would have to be like pro-gun, or else you're out of a job at that point. I'm ballistic and I use catapults, I guess. Trebuchets!
Yes, you beat me to it.
So, yeah. Anyway, Deathstroke fun.
Gigantic ram-shaped battering ram.
Why not? So let's talk about other old characters that we don't expect to see popping up. One that we've even brought up on this show that I laughed at. And we'll get to it here in a minute.
Okay.
Because we're in Grayson number 13, and we, right off the bat, get to see some naked Grayson butt right there on the screen, like, shake it, because he has been dragged back to Spiral after he decided he was going to quit, and then Kathy Kane showed up and said, nope, you're coming back to work, and dragged him back, and now Dr. Netz is doing a thorough examination to make sure he does not have any bugs or anything on him that would allow the information to get out. And she is like right up in that junk with a magnifying glass. Like, oh, no, that's a mole. No, let me pat you down here.
Oh, Dr. Netz.
Or as she says when he's looking at her very awkwardly, you can call me Elizabeth. But now it's back to on the job now that he has passed his vigorous physical examination. But it's not just any job, because the dreaded Tiger Shark, whose jacket is made of Maltese tiger and cane from the horn of a white rhinoceros, has decided to pirate the Scottish hides of Robert the Bruce. He's there as comic relief. I'm not even gonna lie. It's your action start where you get like the whole, okay, he's back on the job with Agent 1, but the whole thing is done in this kind of pseudo-comical way. I mean, it does that whole over-the-top, like, where we were always joking around, where it's like, my shoes are made from the soles of
See my
baby.
loafers? Former gophers.
I mean, it's right along that thing, and then his goons are like, boss, 2 of these sailors don't have faces. You mean you carved off their faces? No, they're all like swirly Q things. And it's Grayson and Agent 1 like, oh man, I don't know why we think this will make us blend in everywhere we go as spies. So they end up fighting off Tiger Shark and saving the day, keeping the historical Scottish pride thing back in circulation so that it isn't taken and made into a handbag by Tiger Shark. But as they're on their way back, Grayson is able to get a quick minute to make a phone call back to Tim Drake and goes, hey, what's the lowdown on this Kathy Kane? Because remember, he's brought in the other Robins and Batgirl in on this whole thing to try to help him crack what's going on in Spiral. And he gives her the Dick Grayson the lowdown on this whole thing. He's like, yeah, I went through all the old pictures now that we have an image of her. And every time there's like a major event in Batman's life, we can see her in the crowd. She's always been there. It's like she's been stalking him forever now. Even when you were off being Nightwing by yourself, we can see her in the background all over the place. He's like, yeah, she was probably trying to crack our secret identities or whatever. I'm sure we'll figure out what she was doing. And as they're doing that, he also says, well, I also found that she owns a lab in part with Spiral somewhere in the middle of Germany. Here's the address and everything. And Grayson has to figure out, well, how the heck am I going to get there? I'm going to have to make Spiral send me there for it to not be suspicious. But how do I do that? Oh! I know just how to do that. And he goes boop, 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 and makes a phone call. And immediately afterwards, Agent 1 and 37 are rerouted over to Germany because the God Garden has sent Midnighter and Ladytron to infiltrate Spiral's lab. Ladytron has shown up in a book after I was like, are you kidding me? That was a character.
Yeah.
And she is the most sarcastic piece of crap that has ever walked the face of the earth. She is just so bad. But they end up showing up and they're like, ooh, we're infiltrate, knocking over trash cans so that everyone knows they're there and kicking things and making loud noises, singing songs drunkenly in the alleyway outside. I don't know. They're just making sure they're known that they're there. And luckily, Ladytron continues to go inside because Midnighter's like, well, I've done my job. I showed up and did the subterfuge thing, so I'm gonna go to the local cafe and get myself a coffee. And as he sits down, we see that Kathy Kane is sitting there at the cafe as well, watching his every move, and it looks like she's getting ready to jump him. So she was in on the whole plan the whole time. But I do like to see how Midnighter and Grayson have become kind of using each other in their subterfuge to help advance their own goals and showing up and, hey, come to Russia and help me fight werewolves. Okay, fine. Well, you just show up here in Germany and cause a distraction so I could go in and do some investigations. Okay, I guess for squaresies, let's have a drunken vodka sleepover again. Love the book. Love the
Yeah.
book so much. I've said it too much already, so I'm not going to go into it too much. Just everything that I would want from a spy book is here, and it's not cold, I guess. Every time I read spy books, they just feel so disconnected and cold because, I mean, that's part of a quote-unquote spy's life.
Yeah.
And this one, Grayson is completely the opposite of that as a character. So it brings the warmth to the spy stuff, but you still get the subterfuge and the double crosses and the triple crosses. But he's just kind of still a likable guy in the middle of it, and he makes you like some of the other characters, even though they are just there to do double crosses and triple crosses. So then you actually feel more vested when they do inevitably, oh, curse your sudden and inevitable betrayal.
Yes.
But at the same time, you're like, oh man, I actually kind of like that guy. And I think that's why this is working so much for me, and I think they're doing a really good job with it, so I hope they continue for a long time to come. Even if it's not this direction, if it's a new one down the line, I think I trust these guys with this character pretty much implicitly right now. Pretty much implicitly. But that's it. That's the first half of this episode of DCR. Brian, what do you have coming up for round dose?
Justice League Darkseid War Batman, Justice League 3001.
Just like the Darkseid War, really.
Yeah,
Just like
exactly.
2001.
Prez, Robin, son of Batman, and The Flash.
And I got Suicide Squad number 13, Sinestro, having a little guy time. Him and his best friend Black Adam going off and just palling around for a bit. Superman comes into the squared circle to have some fun. And We Are Robin number 5 to wrap it up. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go through those books. Returned! Beat you to the punch.
Oh, man.
I clicked the button and you looked at me and didn't believe me, but I did it.
We're back!
We are back, and what are we starting off with? The big guns.
Oh,
What
yeah,
would normally be number 1?
Justice League Darkseid War.
Hey, DC, if you want your important books first, name them with an A at the beginning, because we're lazy, and unless I'm doing the breakdown, which I did in this one, but unless I have time to do the breakdown, I don't feng shui it up.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I'm not sure if we can consider this the most important book.
No, I would have thought Darkseid War. Is this not truth in advertising? This isn't like a key marquee book.
No, this is if you want to read more about them being God Justice Leaguers, cool.
Oh, the Weedly Woo Justice League. That's right. With the metal guitars and nameplates and lightning bolts.
Yeah. So this is about Batman using the Mobius chair in Gotham City to become like a Minority Report style precog version of Batman that stops crimes before they happen.
Oh, man.
And after Jim Gordon tells him that he can't keep people in jail for crimes they didn't commit, Batman starts getting more creative. So, boom tube bank robbers to Antarctica. Boom tube wife attempted murderer to Amazon Island. Alfred's a little worried about all this stuff.
Obviously, for good reason. Does he still have his hook hand? Hello, I have a hook for a hand.
You know, I
Alfred?
haven't... Oh, hello, I have a hook for a hand?
Yeah, he has it in other books. That's why I was curious if it was showing up in this yet.
I don't remember if it was ever shown.
Okay.
You know,
Because I always feel bad for him that it's like all these super awesome cyborg machinery things, and he just has a hook for a hand, and he's like...
And this might also be taking place before the...
fair enough, before Batman's death.
That might be why, yeah. So, because this is still Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
So then he goes and threatens Joe Chill, the guy that killed his parents. He reveals himself to be Bruce Wayne, the son of the people he murdered, and he'll spread the rumor throughout jail that Joe Chill created the Batman. See how you like that. And then, psych, forget everything. Woogie, 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 woogie. Yeah. He then goes home and says he's going to use his all-powerful power to stop the Joker forever, and then this is going to continue in Justice League, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's probably not going to work out too well. He seems to have let this whole Mobius chair thing go to his head.
Maybe,
God Bats, or what do they call him?
Bat
God, yeah. Maybe that's not a good thing for Gotham City.
yeah.
Perhaps. But maybe other iterations of other characters will work out a little bit better.
Yes.
In the future!
In the year 3001. Justice League 3000 number 5. There's so much stuff happening.
Yeah,
this
I
is
did not
a
pity you
jam.
for this one.
This is a jam-packed book. So the embedded member of the Astaro Collective is going to start rooming with Lady Guy Gardner, who's starting to get maternal feelings thanks to his/her volunteer that sacrificed herself to become Guy Gardner. Also, Firestorm lobotomized the evil Wonder Twin, the Guy Terry, and he is now apparently working for future Marvel Comics. With four-armed Stan Lee.
Yes. It's impossible to keep up with them. I mean, he's just running all over the place.
I'm everywhere, I'm everywhere, kids. I gotta go be in another movie. Now I gotta do some future comics. You know how it is. So
only his head was in a jar, Futurama style as well.
I know. Lois Lane is going to unleash her final endgame after posing as Ariel Masters for about a year.
Uh-oh. What's the endgame?
And gets her, we don't know yet, and she gets her old body back from Bane 3000, who's kind of hilarious / creepy. Well, I kind of dressed you up in a nice pretty dress so you could have a tea party with me. I'm like, what? What are you doing, Bane 3000?
What I want to know is who decided it was a good idea to bring back Bane 3000.
Yeah.
Like, they were just like, okay, we have all the DC Universe DNA samples here. Hey, did anyone bring back Bane yet? We should do that.
Yeah,
we should
Bane's
bring back Bane.
Bane sounds like a good idea.
Like, what did their incomplete history records say about Bane? He's a good dad. Okay, we should bring back Bane.
We should save this. This is important. He also, I think, it played tic-tac-toe on her comatose body's forehead.
Nice.
But I was just bored, you know. How do you play tic-tac-toe with yourself, Bane? Come on. On Prison Planet Takran Galtos.
She should be happy, though. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
That he didn't just pick up her body and break it over his knee.
That is true. He's growing in the future.
Just for no reason, just like, I'm bored. What should I do? I will break this body over my knee.
Yes. On Prison Planet Takran Galtos, a.k.a. Earth, Fire and Ice bring in Jimmy Olsen's descendant, who was a were-turtle. He was cursed to walk the world as a turtle. They drop him off in a super vault and run afoul of a giant robot Batman. Supergirl and Batman 3000 take apart the giant robot Batman, and it's being run by a teenage girl claiming to be Bruce Wayne. Her name is really Tina Sung. She's a little teenager.
Now, mind you, everyone, we're about halfway through this issue. If you are not sold on this book already,
yeah, the Super Vault was full of Marvel characters.
Yes,
I mean, not Marvel characters.
Not Marvel, the furthest thing from them.
And as they deal with Tina, Harley Quinn 3000 shows up to stop them from taking away her playmate.
Weep.
Wah. Yeah, and hey, just as a call out to people listening, if anyone knows who Miasma, the prison warden's ancestor, Miasma, the prison warden, shows up, and they make a big tour to deal, like, as they're talking about Jimmy Olsen's, like, history.
Okay.
Because, you know, Fire and Ice are still the original Fire and Ice, just, you know, eternal. Sure. Mm-hmm. So they remember Jimmy Olsen's like, who would have thought Jimmy Olsen's descendant would be a were-turtle? And then the prison warden...
Everyone?
Yeah.
Didn't everyone think that was how that was going to play out?
Then Miasma, the prison warden, he starts waxing about, it's like, well, my ancestor united the homeless tribes. And it's like, and I'm just like, this is supposed to be someone, and I don't know who this is. And they're like, we don't care about you, Miasma, shut up. I wish, but at the same time, now because they said, it's like, oh crap, who is Miasma supposed to be the descendant of?
I don't know.
If anyone knows, let me know. Shoot me something on the Facebook.
The great mystery. Who is the great-great-great-grandfather of
I'm sure
Miasma?
I could probably just tweet a creator, but that would involve, you know, learning what Twitter is. So, you know.
Would it be even lazier than me? I at least will ask a question.
Yeah.
You're like, that sounds hard. I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. But everything about this book is just fun. And it's really hyper
fun,
stylized.
It's silly.
It's hyper detailed as well. Still.
Keith Giffening around.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I cannot recommend this one enough. I'm happy it's still going. I haven't heard any numbers on it yet as far as...
Yeah, it hasn't gotten the axe drop down it is.
No, and it's so far out there that this is one of the books that would be like, oh man, you're playing with fire. Yeah. This is a live grenade that you're just tossing up in the air like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I know, right?
So I'm happy to see this one's still going. And everyone that I know that reads it, either they go, that's just too goofy for my blood, or they absolutely adore the title. So, I mean, odds are in your favor, I think.
Yeah.
At least look at it. Next up, Suicide Squad. I'm sorry.
Am I doing Prez?
What's that?
Am I doing Prez or?
You are Prez after Suicide Squad.
Okay, cool.
I broke it up because I didn't want you to have to do 3 in a row.
Okay, fair enough.
We are in Rio de Janeiro, or at least that's what we're supposed to believe, because we never get an establishing shot.
What?
Oh, Jesus. There's a little note that says Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, if they say so, but if there's no giant Jesus, I don't know.
I don't believe it myself. I think it's a shed in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But I think they just couldn't afford to actually go to Rio. So they couldn't do the establishing shot that they are there. And it's ruined. Everything's ruined, honestly, from this point forward. But Boomerang and Deadshot are undercover closing a drug deal so they can track down where the source of this drug is that temporarily gives people superpowers. And Boomerang is the absolute worst person ever to put in charge of an undercover operation, because he's supposed to be the money man.
The suit that has all the boomerangs painted on it, or
No. He's out of costume. He's in a normal suit, but they're like, okay, do you have the money? And he goes, of course I have the money, mate, and gives them the money. And then they go, aren't you supposed to?
I'm a punch this dingo in the nose.
Dingo stole my baby. But he tries to say, okay, you're supposed to show me the drugs now. And they're like, why would we show you the drugs? You're just buying distribution rights for Australia. And he's like, I don't know, man. It's in the movies. You're supposed to show me the drugs. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. And then I show you I'm not wearing a wire. Oh, but I am wearing a wire. Wait,
you call that a knife? This is a knife. That's a boomerang, sir.
But the whole thing goes south because Boomerang sucks, and they all start shooting at him, and then that's when their backup shows up, including Parasite, Harley Quinn, and the newly, quote-unquote, promoted field commander of Amanda Waller, who now has to go out into the field with them because they keep failing miserably without any control. And she's like, okay, everyone do this, do that, and they're fighting their way through, and they're trying to pin down the lead guy so they can find the source. And finally, she's able to trap the guy by herself. Amanda Waller does. And she's holding him at gunpoint. And as she's doing so, she's looking around and she sees that the building is owned by the Pearl Group. The guns are made by another subsidiary company. They're all basically linked back to this Pearl Group company that's been showing up for the last, 2 arcs, where we see them. Some representative keeps handing cards to ex-enemies of theirs versus supplying weapons. We saw that the Lazarus Pit company that was trying to mine the Lazarus Pit was a subsidiary of Pearl Group as well, and she's finally putting it all together, and she just shoots the guy in the head and calls back to base to Bonnie and goes, hey, who owns all of our systems? Pearl Group. Who gives us all of our mission intel? Pearl Group. Okay, I'm starting to see a little bit of a link here. Maybe it's nothing. But she says she's going rogue, cuts off all the communications between the Suicide Squad and Belle Rev Prison, and goes off to try to lead her own mission to find out what's going on with this Pearl Group. And Bonnie runs back to Vic Sage and says, hey, what happened? Waller just went offline. She's gone rogue on us with the rest of the squad. And Vic finally sees his moment to get revenge, because he and Waller do not get along whatsoever, and pushes the button to detonate all of the bomb collars for the people she is with, and hopefully kill her in the blast as well. But we know Vic is also working with Pearl Group, so we don't know if he's a mole for them or if he's just been approached and hasn't actually signed on yet. So again, it's a bit more in depth. The art's improved a lot since the early. I mean, it was trying to find its style, and it was very hyper deformed in a lot of places. And as I said, sometimes it didn't look like it was entirely intentional. And now it's gotten a lot cleaner and a lot more visually pleasing, shall we say.
Sounds good.
So I'm enjoying it a bit more than it was. It's still trying to find its voice, I feel. I don't know where, I mean, I like some of the banter, I like some of the goofiness. There's a great moment between Boomerang and Harley Quinn where Harley's just like, hey, I'm just supposed to murder people. That's all anyone knows of me. Murder, stab, kill. I'm a scary clown lady. And Boomerang's like, look, I know you've creeped out the kids in our last mission, and they all were like, crazy psycho lady. That doesn't mean that's all you are, though. You were in a mission in a war-torn hellhole. Yeah, you're probably going to be a little scary in those types of situations instead of just out being yourself. And, as I said, there's like little moments here where I'm like, oh, you're right there. But they don't get the time to focus on them as much as I would like. And that's a personal preference thing. So we'll leave it at that. So now you may do
Moving on to Prez. Prez number 5, now officially the longest running Prez series ever.
Yeah! Way to go, Prez!
Way to go, Beth. All right, so Beth Ross, the first teenage president, is brought onto Amber Waves' gotcha journalism talking head show to call her a rank amateur who doesn't know the first thing about politics. You disabled the Sentry program. What does that say to the world when you reverse your course so abruptly? That we're sorry? It's like, what are you going to do? Apologize to everyone for everything we've ever done? Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. I think I'm going to do that. So she apologizes to every country we've ever done anything bad to. Vietnam, what were we thinking? Japan, sorry about the bombs. That second one, yeesh.
Yeesh.
And everyone forgives us, except Iraq, but you know. I mean, so in the future, everything is worse in Pakistan, where without the sentries, the insurgents are shooting at everyone. They're about to institute their own sentry program. So Beth goes and talks to the insurgents and explains how they the insurgents explain how they just want water. War is about resources. You just use the crazy god and hating your enemy and trying to take your guns away things to recruit people. It's all about resources. All the other stuff is just about recruiting. So it's comically relevant, especially with Bill Nye literally saying the same exact thing, like, you know, a month later on television. You know,
maybe Bill Nye reads Prez.
Bill Nye might read Prez. I don't know, but
Bill Nye, you're a plagiarist.
But by even talking to the insurgents, it means that they're going to get attacked as they try to leave, and her top advisor goes into cardiac arrest. But thankfully, with the help of Chekhov's meat machine, she's able to grow her advisor a new heart and manages to save her. It's crazy.
That is a little crazy.
Like her Texas assistant or whatever. Like they're going up in this helicopter to go off and, you know, go on a world tour, and he's like, check out this meat machine. It just makes meat. We have like the DNA structure and we plug it in and it makes meat for us. You want to know what a mastodon tastes like? We got the DNA from a frozen mastodon. You can get a mastodon steak. It's good eating. And she's like, okay. And then there's this also thing where like everyone's like medical records are plugged into their iPods or iPhones or whatever.
Okay.
So Beth Ross, with her quick thinking, as her, you know, person's about to lose her heart basically like explodes. And it's like, well, crap, she's not going to be able to survive. We're going to get a new heart. So she plugs the iPhone into the meat machine and grows her assistant a new heart. It's crazy future stuff, and it's kind of fantastic.
Yeah.
As presented in a very good way. Oh, crap, I lost my place for a second there.
But at least it wasn't actually called Chekhov's meat machine.
Yes, I know.
It was the Chekhov's. I'm with you now. I was like, that's a little too on the nose.
Yeah. Also in this issue, Pharmaduke tries to hold the government hostage for $9 billion so they can make a vaccine for the cat flu.
Uh-oh.
And
Cat scratch fever? Dun, dun.
And War Beast, the ultra-deadly Mega Sentry, discovers religion and changes its name to Tina.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like there's something more to that.
Yep.
I feel like there might be something to that.
Yeah. And also, just to further cloud the waters of whether or not this is taking place in a superhero universe or not, the news ticker at the beginning featured Olsen denies all charges in Photogate, Burnside degentrified, and Diana granted full diplomatic immunity in Paradise Island.
Huh.
Mwah.
Ah. Just enough then, huh?
So
they can say, look, here's our links.
Or they're just in a world where everything is normal and there's no superheroes, but there's these little things that are still similar because it's the multiverse.
Fair enough. Well played.
Burnside degentrified.
Yes. No, I really like what they did with this book. I think it's a fantastic satire. Mm-hmm. A lot smarter than I think I was going to give this book credit for. And it's just came out of the gate, guns ablazing, and has not slowed down. That's for damn sure.
If you're sad about Jon Stewart retiring, hey, try this out.
Yeah, this is pretty biting, though.
Yeah, this isn't Trevor Noah going like, "Oh, I'm from South Africa." It's LOL. This is heavy stuff.
Yeah. So, scope it out for sure. Especially in an election season, it's always good to read these types of satires. I'm not pitching the political angle from which it's coming from, but I am pitching at least the way they tell their story.
Intelligence in the satire.
The intelligence in their satire is very well done.
Like,
even if you don't agree with the politics.
But if you live in like Ohio or Florida and you're just sick of the election cycle, this is for you.
Yes. Jesus God, yes. Next up, you get to continue.
Oh, I'm continuing. Okay, Robinson and Batman?
Yeah, it's kids.
There we go.
Kids.
All the kids. So number 5. So Robin, Nobody, and Goliath head back to Al Ghul Island to restock on supplies and a Year of Blood artifacts to return to the rightful owners. And they run into soppy, gob-faced brothers of Damian, the sons of Batman.
Hey, Damian.
Yep. And Nobody rightfully...
Baby Ruth.
Yep, Nobody rightfully loses her garbage when she sees a bunch of naked sloth versions of Damian running around wild and free on the fields of Al Ghul Island.
You know there's going to be some nightmarish, like, Jurassic Park thing where some family's boat breaks down and they have to crash there and all the sloth Damians come out and there's a war that erupts and some kid loses his glasses and a Damian ends up with his head on a pike, and that's my recap of Lord of the Flies.
Okay. Or if it's Jurassic Park 2, they'll just be hanging off a cliff in a car for 20 or so minutes.
Well, they could do that too.
Yeah.
And then there's pterodactyls.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that 3? I think that's 3. Yeah.
Definitely the new one.
Definitely the new one. Yeah.
We're slowly working our way through the quote-unquote classics, and after one, you can probably stop. You can probably stop. 20 minutes hanging off a cliff in a dinosaur movie. Thanks, Spielberg. So this is just the other day. Don't mind me. But then it turns out that the island has been invaded. Ravi is gone. His past Alfred.
Yep.
Talia is back, and this is the first time Damian has seen her alive since he came back to life as well.
He doesn't know that she died, I don't think.
Okay.
Because remember, it was during the efforts to bring him back to life that she fell down into the ravine.
Yeah, because he already died when.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, he'd already died when she got shot in the head by Kathy Kane.
Mm-hmm. Comics. So she's trying to prevent him from returning the artifacts because they were the only things keeping the Den Darga of the Undur from coming back.
Of course.
Yeah, they're the original keepers of the Lazarus Pits, if you remember from past issues, because it's been a while. Den, who's like this, creepy Mumra looking dude, he turns into like a Final Fantasy Lick monster and or Lich. Is it Lick or Lich?
I
used to play Dungeons.
Lich.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy Lich monster and summons a bunch of lamprey demons to literally tear apart the island. The sons of Batman make a final heroic sacrifice to save their bro Damian, and Talia and Damian and Talia almost drown. But nobody saves them, even though she totally had a chance to kill Robin. So,
are they able to find all of the phylacteries of the Lich?
Sure.
Well, I mean, it's not going to die until you destroy each of its phylacteries.
Are we gonna get an explicit tag when if you're saying that, Sean?
Let me put it to you this way. Horcruxes.
Okay, I know what that is.
That's what they stole it from.
I'm married to Kelly. I know what that is.
Yes. That's a Lich's phylacteries are all of those, Dungeons and Dragons from long time ago.
Interesting.
Well before Harry Potter.
So, they wind up on Talia's submarine, being piloted by Ravi, and now she gets to play evil den mother while Damian isn't at full strength anymore and recover from the bends or whatever he got as he was drowning.
Yeah, well, maybe the drowning that coming from. It doesn't have to be the bends from the drowning. It could just be the drowning.
The drowning? Okay.
It tends to take a little out of you when you drown and all. I mean, you have to get the water out, bilge pumps, play puzzle pirates on your side so you can get all the water out of your lung.
Okay.
I love Damian. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I do.
I love the fact that he's still missing his front tooth.
Yes, yeah, I think that's a great thing, and I know it's going to be a humor thing for at least the next couple issues.
Yeah. Hopefully
for at least a solid year until it grows back in.
Yeah.
He'll have like a really awkward where he can't pronounce things correctly. Mm-hmm. He gets them, everybody!
Yep. I am Darkness.
Something he would have trouble pronouncing. Sinestro is up next. Sinestro number 16, where it's a quiet moment for Sinestro because spinning out of the pages of Forever Evil, where he made bestie friends with Black Adam because they're both totalitarian.
Forever Evil's still going on? I guess they said forever.
Yeah, it was forever.
Oh,
Forever. But because
Blight's still running, isn't it? We just stopped recovering.
we just stopped covering it.
Yeah.
It's in another one of the Earths. It's
Okay,
just
gotcha.
still going.
Mm-hmm.
Still going. But remember, Sinestro and Black Adam met because they were both totalitarian assholes. They became
Yes.
best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it. He's showing up because he heard a little birdie told him that Black Adam had fought the Paling once back hundreds of years ago and actually successfully fended them off, even killed their leader. And he's like, oh man, that totalitarian asshole, he and I get along pretty well. We should go chat and hang out. So he brings his core down to Kahndaq and goes, hey, Black Adam. And they try to one-up each other in assholeness until they finally just laugh and go, ha ha ha, we're both dicks.
We're the worst.
We're horrible people, aren't we? Ah, it's so funny. Our people live in fear and terror every single day. He's like, I am fear.
Let's skip through the field of flowers while holding hands, okay?
But he goes, yeah, I did beat the Paling or whatever you call him a long time ago. I can show you what happened. I can tell you, but really every story that involves Black Adam is Black Adam's awesome. Black Adam trounced a bad guy. Black Adam got all the bitches. That's usually how every story goes. I mean, so I'm just going to show you, but to do that, we're going to have to take a walk over to the holy tombs of Kahndaq so that you can see it. And we have to walk because this is a holy pilgrimage. This isn't like just something we're going to jump over there and do it. We go there as learners and discoverers, not as conquerors. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I think you're just doing this to be a dick, so whatever. I'm expecting it. So the two hoof it on over to the nearby tombs, and as they go in, Sinestro's like, yeah, I used to be an archaeologist before I did this whole, like, ring thing, so this is, like, memories and stuff for me. I remember doing this all the time. It's pretty cool. I didn't have to talk to people, because people are asses, and I could just be lord of my own little domain, and now I'm raiding a tomb here. Hey, Lara Croft, how are you? But we're gonna go in and we're gonna find this stuff, and they go in and all the dead that are stuck inside there come back as zombies, and they're like, argh! And Black Adam goes, don't worry about them. I'm king of this whole area. So he's like, by the name of Black Adam, I say, stop. I am your king. And they all keep coming, burn. And they end up just smoting them down really quick. And he's like, well, that was weird. Normally everything around here has to listen to me. I don't understand why that was. Whatever, we'll figure it out later. And they go deeper into the tombs, and he goes, and here it is. This is the leader of the Paling that I killed. And Sinestro just goes slack-jawed. And he's like, no, you're pulling my chain, right? And he's like, no, that's why I wanted to show you, because it looks like it's one of your Guardians of the Galaxy here that was leading the Paling at that time. The Pale Bishop is one of the old Guardians of the Galaxy, all in tattered rags and like a mummy type wrappings around its body.
The Oa Guardian.
Yeah, the old
Not Chris
new,
Pratt.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's everywhere these days. But.
Yeah, the old Guardians of the Universe. You know, those ones. But it ends up sparking to life as soon as Sinestro gets too close because of his emotional energy. And it goes, Mwahahaha, I am awoken once more by the power of fear, and now, thanks to you, Sinestro, the Inquisition and the destruction of all emotion shall begin anew. Mwahahaha! And he and Black Adam just kind of look at each other. And I'm sure the two of them are just gonna, like, bro up and smash the bejeebus out of it in the next issue, because it's just the facial expression between the two, like, this dumb person just stepped into the wrong too. Should have just laid there and pretended. Should have taken a page out of Possum's book and just pretended it was dead until they left.
Yep.
And then just whoop, whoop, whoop out the back door. But instead it had to show up and cackle and be all like, wah, ha, 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 ha. And now
the
it's going to
fatal flaw
Yeah.
in my plan. When they're going through the Black Adam tubes, I was half expecting you to say, oh, and there's my ex-wife. Name redacted.
Name redacted. Surprised she hasn't shown up at all. I mean,
I wonder why.
I don't know.
I can't think of any good reasons why.
I can think of no reasons why whatsoever. Poor Archer got screwed over with that too.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they were just like, should we ride it out? Should we just see if this goes away? Nope, let's get rid of it.
Yep.
Poor guys. So next up, Superman, number 45. Really enjoyed this issue. Really, really, really enjoyed this issue because his identity has been made public, his powers are drained, and his bank account is empty. Clark Kent is in a bad spot, and he's tracking down Hoarder trying to find them with their robot powers and everything and their control of information in the internet. And he infiltrates their corporate headquarters. He finds out where one of the companies they recently bought is and just kind of sneaks in and goes in through the back door and finally actually tracks down Hoarder Root. He goes, aha, I gotcha. And he punches him in the face and he just body shifts over to another person. He goes, yeah, again, I'm basically just living data. I just moved from person to person. So you can't really beat me like that. But I got something for you. And he pulls out this wrestler named Apollokai who comes out and he's like, raw, and the two of them throw down and start wrestling and he ends up spilling out into the streets with this big fight and all the people are standing around like, holy crap, Superman's beating up a wrestler in the streets. And they're like punching at each other until finally, just for no reason, Apollokai melts into this puddle of like sand and goop, and all the people are like, Superman just melted that wrestler into a pile of goop. Oh my God. And Superman's like, no, that's not what I did. I just need to know. You seem to recognize this guy. Who was he? And they're like, yeah, he was like a wrestler nearby at Myth Brawl. That's every Friday night. And he goes, okay, fine. And he runs off and hides from the police who are just like, hey, guy in the Superman shirt, put your hands above your head. And he's like, guy in a Superman shirt. I'm never going to get over this, am I? This is why I wore a cape. Otherwise, it's just guy in a Superman shirt. So he shows up later on at Myth Brawl with this underground wrestling circuit type thing. Blows the last of his money, the last $20 he has to his name, on a dozen tacos and is just standing there stuffing his face with tacos watching these people fight. He's like, tacos, no. I mean, it's literally like a page of him with an armload of tacos just shoveling them into his face. It looks so great. It's so funny. And as he's watching, the fight gets really, really brutal until the one guy's about to blast out or stab out the eye of one of a female wrestler that's out there. And he decides he's going to get involved to save her and jumps down. And he's like, no, you will not stab out her eye, and starts fighting the other guy. And everyone in the audience starts losing their shit that Superman's in there. They're like, holy crap, it's the real Superman. They're like, yeah, woo. And he ends up fighting off this guy, and they get shuffled off stage, backstage to where he meets the manager of this wrestling group, a woman by the name of Scheherazade. Maybe you've heard of her. And she tries to tell him that, no, you don't understand. This isn't like an underground death brawl stabby thing. All of these people are dead gods, lost gods. They were like these two right here. It's a creation story of the sun and the moon. It's Apollokai had two eyes, and he ended up fighting his sister and stabbed her in the eye, and now she just has one paler eye. And they were the Polynesian gods of day and night. And since they've been forgotten in their homeland and they're no longer worshipped, by having them do this, they are kept alive. They're recognized. They're remembered. They're reliving their stories over and over and over again, so that their myths continue and they get to survive. They don't disappear into anything. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually kind of awesome. And he's like, but what about her? She's got her eye blasted out and stuff. And Scheherazade goes, well, that's my power set. I can reverse people's stories. I can go back in time in their story. I can't stop it from happening because that's how stories work. They always happen. But I can take her back to before she lost her eye, and now she's healthy and happy again. And he's like, huh, well, that's kind of crazy. And she goes, it'd be really crazy if you signed on, because then everyone would know about all these other little lost Polynesian and Middle Eastern and Central African gods that no one remembers, and they could actually maybe have some lives again and not have to do this every single night. If you were there drawing the audiences in to do it, what do you say? And he's like, I don't know. I don't think brawling is really my style. And she goes, I'll give you tacos.
What?
No, she goes, I'll give you $500 a week for it, and that'll buy a lot of tacos. And he's like, that would buy a lot of tacos. So the issue ends with her introducing the last son of Krypton, the big blue Boy Scout. Here he is, Superman! As he's stepping out with like the American flag cape on his back and everything.
Spoiler alert, I win.
Spoiler alert. It's so good.
Max Landis has taught me so much more about wrestling.
No, it was just so lightheartedly good. I mean, everything about this particular issue, it moved the story forward. We got the next step in the Hoarder stuff, we got more movement as far as where he is in his life and how he's trying to get by, how he's surviving, period. I really like the Myth Brawl backstory and how they're doing it. I think that's a really great way to introduce like a little underground circuit thing that's not evil per se, so you can get him involved. And he is just not, I don't want to say inept, but without his support structure, he is clearly struggling to figure out what he's supposed to be doing and how he can do it. And it's very fun to read, to see him out of his element and out of his comfort zone and trying to still do the right thing, but without being able to draw attention to himself because everything's so public and he is wanted and he doesn't have his powers to fall back on. It's a great read. It really is. I'm impressed. I wasn't expecting much out of it, and I'm getting a lot more out of it than I was expecting. Plus a full page of him stuffing his face with tacos. Is,
yep.
Mwah, beautiful.
Hanging out with the Teen Titans.
You know it.
The Go Teen Titans.
The Go Teen Titans.
All right, moving on to The Flash, number 45.
Yeah.
So the Disciples of Zoom, Zoom's time-traveling evil team.
Hard time traveling?
Yeah,
because they're all criminals.
Supervillain team. Forced Barry to accidentally create a Speed Force field around the CCPD. Wally figures out how to get out of the force field using car knowledge, because when he becomes a Flash, he's going to live his life 1 mile at a time.
That's how it's 1/8 of a mile at a time. Man, this Flash thing, they don't even get their quotes right.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, they go so much faster, they can't even measure that.
Fair enough.
Everyone is it's almost like I've never actually watched any of these movies.
Does he go a kilometer at a time?
Maybe.
It can at least be, world friendly.
Maybe. He should, if he runs around the world enough.
He measures things in quarts and pints, but does it speed by kilometers.
Yeah. So everyone is happy. Pied Piper and Director Singh get back together. Yay! They broke up for like half an issue. But Police Chief Fry is super mad because the Flash is a menace.
Uh-oh. Does he grow a mustache?
The Flash, threat or menace.
Does he actually start putting his face all over the giant TVs all over town?
I forget.
Sprouting about how much of a menace the Flash is?
Fry, I mean, he is a police chief. He might have a mustache. I don't know. So, Zoom kidnapped Barry's dad because he's a blood doctor. And Speed Force
Aren't
power.
all doctors blood doctors?
He's a blood doctor, thank you very much. That's what it says on his diploma, blood doctor.
Okay, well, kudos.
And Speed Force powers are tied to blood somehow, and because he knows words like hemoglobin, he is able to construct a futuristic power glove claw that allows you to steal Speed Force powers. Sure. He tries to use it on Zoom, but Zoom's too fast. Like, oh, almost got me there. Almost got me. So Zoom uses the claw on his disciple Magani, who is the Mayan lady that could change the age of things.
Okay.
So he's going to steal all of his disciples' superpowers, then the Flashes, and become a god. Mwahaha.
Mwahaha. Is Sinestro and Black Adam standing there just looking at each other like, these people never learn?
No.
Well, that sucks.
It sucks, but it's an interesting turn.
How is Professor Zoom in this? Is it pretty good, or?
He's very,
maliciously evil?
Maliciously evil, yes.
Okay. I kind of like the more nuanced Zolomon style Zoom. Or was that Reverse Flash?
Good question.
I know it was very confusing around that time frame.
It's been a while since I read all those stories, and there were like three different yellow Flashes like all concurrently.
That was an earned thing where he was actually an ally of Barry for the longest time and working with the police and helping out, and then there was like that gradual turn over, and I thought it was a very well done arc. And this Professor Zoom is just like, Zoom, I'm here!
Yeah, I'm evil, take that!
So I'm hoping I was hoping there was a little more nuance later on in this arc, because I was just going to read it as a collected arc when I got around to it.
I like the long con on his, disciples, though.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that, to be quite frank. So.
Nope. Although, I mean, Disciples of Zoom is a pretty badass name. So
it is, yeah.
It might have overshadowed Professor Zoom himself.
But maybe giving him a few extra powers to make him even more difficult to overcome could really, up him a couple notches on the supervillain scale. So
start getting him some Justice League level threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good idea, maybe. It's a good idea. We'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. That we shall. Last up, though, we are Robin. Well, we are not. I mean, but
we're not.
They
are.
Not they
in
are
any way,
Robin.
shape, or form.
They are Robin, but it's called We Are Robin. Mm-hmm. Number 5. where we get a little bit more backstory. We get to find out who's been behind the drafting the homeless army, who is this giant hulking Talon. And I don't want to say it's the Butcher just yet. It has the exact same frame and style and everything, but they never actually confirm that's who it is. Remember in the Talon book?
It's been so long since we've seen Talons besides Strix.
Yeah, I know. And All-Star Western and
Yeah,
that big giant hulking Talon that they called the Butcher of whatever. Well, it looks a lot like him. I'm not going to say it is until I get confirmation, but that's who it looks like has been drafting these armies underground to try to take over Gotham after the last Joker attack. We also get to learn a little bit more about one of the members, Izzy, who is tormented by thugs at the family restaurant that she helps run and stands up to him as she would because she's a very confrontational person, only to get jumped by them in the alleyway. They sucker punch her and they go to really just trounce her, probably kill her. She ends up getting some assistance from Duke and Rico, two of the other members of We Are Robin, but is able to just kind of handle it herself until Duke's like, man, you hang out with some weird friends. Well, not really counting us that are all dressed up like Robins, but those guys, they're weird too in a different way, in a more punchy. Well, I guess we kind of punch people too, but you know what I'm saying. And she actually lets slip that that's actually her brother that runs with a gang that she's already tried to turn in multiple times, and it's not a good family life that she has whatsoever. So all of them head back to an abandoned toy factory where they're going to meet and discuss their next moves because as we saw in their last adventure, they actually met Robo Batman. They met Jim Gordon and they think it's the normal Batman just in a new suit. And they've been thinking they were working for Batman this whole time. And he told them to go home, kids. What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing this. And they're all like, well, if Batman isn't the one coaching us and we're all just running around following some nameless person's orders over the internet, I think we're getting played. I don't know if we should do this, or if we do, we should be doing it for ourselves. And that's when this giant semi-truck backs up with a TV in the back and he goes, I couldn't agree more, Master Robbins. I mean, yar, me not Alfred. Yar.
Oh, goodbye.
And the truck opens up and it's full of like Robin gear and weapons. And it's like, that's right. You're going to have to do it by yourselves. You'll have to figure out if you want to do it yourselves. Yar! I have a hook for a hand, but for no reason. Cause I'm a pirate. Yar! And they're like, I don't know. I feel like we should know who this is. I feel like there's all these subtle hints and clues that they're trying to tell us who this is, that it's not coming across though. Cause he's got like a giant beard and a hat pulled down over his face. So clearly we can't tell who it is whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But they end up taking all the stuff. And as they're about to go home, they decide they're gonna try to work together to do it. They'll give it one more shot at the very least. As they're heading back, there is a drive-by in revenge. Izzy's brother and his gang, drive on by and try to shoot him up, and Duke ends up diving in front of Izzy, taking a couple rounds in the shoulder, and he drops to the ground. But the thugs aren't able to get away because giant hulking Talon monster jumps on the hood and then eviscerates the entire gang, pulling their bowels out through their tummies after using his hook things to gouge them open. It's like, yum, thanks, dude, and that's really cool of you. And he shows up and he's like, yes, hello, I'm friendly, and I want you to be a part of my army of homeless people. I mean, not homeless people. I had nothing to do with that. I want you to join my army of the night. Ooh! And, I guess that's what they're being confronted with. Whereas we see, not Alfred, Hook Hand McPirate Face, sees this over the cameras and then runs over to the scrapyard and jumps into a not Batmobile and drives it off to go rescue his wards and see if he can't pull them away from a threat that may be a little too dangerous for them. And that's where we'll leave it. Again, I kind of like Alfred being the mentor. I hope he gets more hands-on after the first arc.
Oh, that's mean, Sean.
I thought it was funny. I hope he gets more hand-on.
Okay.
After the first arc, and they actually start bringing him out into the open so that he can have the conversations with them and go from there. But that's it. That's all the books we had for this week. A lot of fun ones. A lot of really fun ones. I quite like what they did with them. There was goofiness. There was Superman munching on tacos. We had
Justice League 3001 period.
Yeah, Justice League 3001 in its entire existence. Chekhov's Meat Machine. Aquaman trying to explain his relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of amusing things that happened, and I quite enjoyed it. I kind of hope we can catch up, though.
Yeah.
I know we're still a little bit ways behind. We may just be doing a pre-recorded dump of a bunch of books before Christmas or after. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll try to get something out there. It may even just be solo shows. I'm not sure how we're doing it. I know Hollywood Scott is coming back into town, so who knows?
Might be able to weasel him in for another.
You might be able to squeak him in for one. It's going to be chaotic, but I'll make sure we have something up there for you guys. So that being said, make sure you go out there and support this stuff. We know it's the holidays. We know you're poor. We know your money is spoken for. But there are some really, really good deals out there as well. I mean, I found some dirt cheap trades in the last month, and I was like, no, mustn't buy. Well, maybe just two. I'll buy 6. Just 6. We'll just do 6. So make sure you go out there and support what you like. I mean, it's within reason. Don't blow your own budgets. Pay the rent, eat food, all that stuff first, please. We don't want you to die doing it. That being said, next week we have more comics, I think. Is that what we're going to do next week? Mm-hmm. I was going to do a history of Warhammer 40K instead.
Sure, you can do
want to
that.
do that instead? Do you want to do some research on Warhammer 40K?
Yeah, I'll jump right in on that.
And read all about that. It's only like 40,000 years of history you have to learn real quick. It's pretty easy. It's really easy. I could probably go for a long time on it, and I don't even know all of it, so that'd be fun. Merry Christmas! No, next week we will be doing more comics, so tune in then. We will do that. If you do want to contact us, where can they do so, Brian? What can they use?
The internet.
They can use the internet. Use your browser of choice. Use your search engine. I'm out. I think I'm out. I got no more search engines, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think
we've kind of run that joke into the ground.
We have a little bit. So, you can find us. We're DCR Podcast everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, or you can email us at feedback@dcrpodcast.com. Do you have anything before we take off for today?
Well, I could make the joke that they should have called the good dinosaur the okay dinosaur.
Oh! Did they farm?
They farmed a lot. They did a lot of farming.
For those of you confused, check out the Disney episode from
if you're trying to catch up, just listen to our April Fool's episodes.
Yes.
If you're jonesing for more DCR. But on a more serious note, if you are in Cleveland around about the 19th, I'm once again going to be contributing to Carol and John's Feed the Homeless art show.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to be Star Wars themed this year because of course it is. Everything is, you know.
Very, very cool.
So if you want to bid on a absolutely beautiful Jason Aaron, John Cassidy comic book that has been ruined by a podcaster scribbling on the cover and help feed some people, you can come along and bid on my book.
That's very, very cool. That kind of short sells my post-show thing.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah. Mine was, hey,
I'll
guys.
be posting stuff about it on the website, on the Facebook. So
if you haven't had enough John Cena, there's a Fallout 4 mod that when you shoot your mini nuke, it plays the John Cena theme song as it goes off. That was mine. I feel like I'm an ass now. Yeah, I guess you could feed the homeless more. Yeah, it's awesome. The nuke goes off and then it's da-da-da-da, and you're like, yeah!
Man, that's right there, the Randy Savage
the zombies?
No, the dragon game.
Oh.
The dragon game with the Randy Savage dragon.
Yeah, Dragon
Skyrim,
yes. I love the body community. It makes me laugh.
It's like, what's that off in the distance? Oh, there's a rumbling and a bumbling and something. Oh, yeah!
So I guess feed the homeless more, but if you do have Fallout 4, check out the mod.
Yeah.
So that's it from us here. As you can hear, probably in the background, Liam is not happy, so we're going to go take care of that. Until next week, folks, we will talk to you then. Enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we'll talk to you then.